Hey, this is Sean Garvey with Dwellinspect. I'm going to take you through the journey of flushing your hot water heater. So, first thing you want to do, turn off the main water valve. Turn off water into the house. You don't want water to be spewing out everywhere. There are valves at this particular tankless water heater. I'm not sure if yours does. Then you remove power from the system, and there's the little valves that control the water. So, you're going to attach some hoses to the red and blue valve. First thing you want to do is turn the valve that allows flow of water into the system and flow of water out of the system. So blue being in, red being out, water can no longer flow through the system or to the system. And then you're going to open the caps to these valves, the blue one and then the red one. Whoever installed mine did it in an unconventional fashion where the gas valve blocks the connection to the hot water valve. But basically going to clean out the loop. You need a little bucket. I use a bucket from Home Depot. You need a sump pump. I bought the sump pump on Amazon. And then you're going to need a solution to flush it. So there's the box, the sump pump from Amazon. They also sell tankless water heater flush kits on Amazon. I just chose to buy it individually. It was a little cheaper. You do whatever you're going to do. So I got a washing machine hose. I've connected the washing machine hose to the water heater, the valve at the water heater, where I removed the cap. I have not opened that valve yet. And then I'm going to connect it to the sump pump. So it goes, as I'm pointing out right there, it goes there. It's still closed. I opened it at this point. So it's into the sump pump, top of the sump pump. So it's going to push water from the sump pump into the tankless water heater. And then this is the MacGyvered version. So I got a washing machine hose and then I got a clamp. And so I have to clamp it to the hot water side. It's just easier than changing all the gas configuration on there, which is quite frankly above my pay scale. So I have the hot side MacGyver now, and now I've opened the valve. So now water can flow out from the sump pump through the unit itself, and then all it has to do is use gravity to come out back into the bucket. In this particular case, I'm using vinegar. I'm sure the manufacturer recommendations, there is a approved solution, but vinegar also helps to descale the unit as well. So 2 gallons of vinegar for the flush itself. So I've got it pretty much set up at this point. I'm going to plug it in, and once you plug it in, it just starts going. And again, now the valves are opening. So when I plug it in and it starts pumping, which it's doing now, so water is now coming in, being pushed into the unit from the sump pump. And then once you see it coming out of the drain, it is now completing this cycle. So there's nothing on my MacGyver rigged portion of it except for it just goes in. I think it had a little bit of a leak onto it, so I'm just tightening that back up since unfortunately I have to do it in a creative fashion. Okay, so it's up and going. I have approved it, and then it sits for 1 full hour. So I don't have to do anything for one full hour. You just have to make sure that you don't need any water in the house for 1 full hour, specifically any hot water. I unplug the sump pump. I'm going to then remove the hoses, both on connected to the hot and cold portion of it. So I'll start with the MacGyver portion or the rigged portion first. And then I'm going to put the cap back on it. And then I'm going to move over to the cold side, remove the cold side, and remove the hose. And then cap it again. So there are 2 valves that you have to engage here. One valve to close, which allows the water that you would use to flush it. That shuts that portion off. And then you're going to reintroduce the flow of water back through the water heater. And so again, you've closed the valve that you just used and then reopen the valves to restore the flow of water. Just a quick look. So you're going to have darkish black water from there, and that's all the calcium and stuff that it pulled out of the water. We're re-engaging or turning back on the flow of water to the house, plugging back in the tankless water heater. It's going to do a little boot and kick up, and then just ensure that there's no leaking. And you've closed everything back up the way it's supposed to be. Pretty simple. Then you just do a little cleanup, dump the vinegar, and clean off the sump pump, and then run the hot water to ensure that you have hot water, and run it for an extended period of time just to get rid of all that vinegar out of there too. And that's it. Flushing out your tankless hot water heater is really pretty simple, as you can see. And quite honestly, it's taking care of your largest investment, which is your house.